All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us again. Welcome to Aspiration Inspiration with me, Jason George. And today, we have a very exciting guest today. She hails from Delft in Cape Town, and her name's Ashleigh Petersen. Ashleigh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, and thank you for having me, Jason.
Yeah, Ashleigh, you are from Delft. You have a BA degree from the University of the Western Cape. You have your honors degree from the University of the Western Cape, am I correct? And
yes,
are currently pursuing a master's. Now, tell us a bit about Ashleigh Petersen. Tell us about where you're from, where you grew up, and where you are now with regards to your studies and what motivated you to pursue that.
Okay, I've been born, bred, I've lived in Delft my whole entire life, never moved out of Delft, so I am strictly a Delft girl. Went to school, in primary school in Delft, went to high school in Ballard, and then started my life at the University of the Western Cape. And I've been there ever since. That's literally my second home. So, like you said, I did the BA there, I did my honors there. I am doing my master's in Religion and Theology. And I'm focusing on religion and media right now. And I am focusing on the Cheryl Zondi narrative in particular. So my thesis outline is clergy sexual abuse and how individuals from the media interacts with it. So that's my current space, and that's what takes up all of my time right now.
Yeah, and I can imagine. I mean, you being a female, and and dealing with the Cheryl Zondi trial, and also everything that's happening at the moment in our country with regards to gender-based violence. I can imagine it's emotionally, draining for you to do that kind of research. And I don't know if there's if there's anything you'd like to share with us as to what motivated you to focus on that.
You're right, it's really draining, and part of it, most of the draining part I did last year. So I had to literally listen to the trial, pause, play, listen to each word, transcribe each word. And that was really difficult because you feel the emotions with her, and there's times where you can't even listen to the whole video. You have to pause for a while, take a break, take a walk away from it, and then come back. Because she's the same age as me, she's a student as well, and it could have easily been me. Yeah. So that was really difficult as well. And then also part of my research is reading the comments that is made on YouTube. Yeah. And there's a lot of supporting comments towards her, but there's a lot of nasty comments towards her as well. And the things that people say. So that was another horror on its own. But someone has to do this research. It has to be out there. There has to be awareness around gender-based violence. So it needs to be done. It really needs to be done.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think a big problem in our communities, particularly, is victim blaming. And people blame the victim. You asked for it. Why did you stay? And I still hear grown people, talking about why do you stay in a relationship like that? And some people don't necessarily understand, and I mean, I don't fully understand the emotional blackmail that's going on, that kind of abuse, economical abuse that's going on, the person relying or depending on their partner, over and above the age of Cheryl Zondi at the time also, and looking up to this figure. But back to you, Ashleigh. What's it like growing up? What was it like growing up in Delft, and what were some of the challenges that you faced in achieving where you are now?
Okay, so like I said, I've been here my whole life. I've been a very to myself type of person, so I never really used to go outside. And I think that is also somehow a problem because I don't mingle with the people outside. I didn't really have friends in the road, at least. I had school friends. So I think in high school, I had a year where I finally decided, okay, I'm going to see what the road is all about. I'm going to mingle. And the perceptions that people thought of me, it was wild. Wow. So even now, I hear funny names and things like that. So it's like I don't belong. My road or my area basically already classified me as you're not one of us. Because I am definitely one of you. I am part of this community, and why do we have to classify being from Delft, as you only have a certain amount of limits. So that was always a bit difficult, but then at the same time, I had a lot of people in the community, which was always supportive of me.
Yeah.
And that really became motivating. And where I could motivate others, I definitely would. And I definitely do. I try and help with applications. So like, I'm the girl, you need to fill out the application. We need to apply for college or varsity. Let's
Yeah.
do this. I will put everything down. I don't care
Yeah.
if I have a deadline the next day, but if you say you're going to apply, I am there. I am going
Yeah.
to do this with you.
Yeah.
So,
And what are...
but, sorry?
No, continue. I just wanted to know, like, some of those names that people refer to you as, and, you know, those things that are maybe share a bit of detail about that.
So the more recent one I heard a few weeks ago is, I'm the girl from Constantia. So I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
I've never lived in Constantia, but I'm classified as the girl from Constantia. She keeps her like she's the girl from Constantia. So I don't even know what is it, because, like I say,
Yeah.
the only time you really see me outside is when I go look for the sun and I sit with my books in the sun. I spend a lot of time with my books. A lot of my time right now revolves around varsity. So I don't know if it's that, or I really don't know, but that's my new tag, my latest
Yeah.
tag.
I think it's actually something so interesting, you know, that especially in our communities, people, as soon as we start seeing someone moving forward, it's almost like they mustn't move forward without us. It's like they you know, you must stay down in the dumps where we are, you know. And as soon as you start moving out, now you want to keep you quiet. They want to beat at us horses, you know. And I think it's a mentality that, you know, that we need to somehow break down in our communities, and that we need to somehow get to a sense where people can, you know, own other colored people's or people of color's achievement, you know, and see it as us moving forward together. And, you know, yeah, Ashleigh's doing a master's. She's from Delft. She's highly educated. I mean, education shouldn't just be associated with places like Constantia or, you know, white-dominated places. And I think it's a really interesting narrative. And I mean, there are many people. I haven't heard it yet because I'm also not as outside as, you know, as much as, but a lot of my friends that are around here, I mean, I would like to think that they do have some sort of respect for me. But I definitely relate to the fact that, you know, there are some of them that look at you and they think, you know, this person just think that they are better than me just by virtue of you not hanging out with them anymore, in the, you know, getting up to the things that they are getting up to. So I think that is really, really interesting. So yeah, you wanted to say something else before I interjected?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, were there any challenges along the way for you? What, you know, did you struggle getting into university, or, you know, were there struggles while you were at university, and how did you overcome those? And if you had any failures, you know, during the course of that, how did you deal with those?
Okay, so I think I was a bit privileged or very lucky to not have as much challenges. I have a really amazing support group or support unit. And so they've always had my back if I needed extra motivation, if I needed help with anything. And that really helped me through my whole university journey so far. So when my laptop crashed, there's always someone that is willing to borrow the laptop for me.
Yeah.
If I need to print and I can't get to campus, there's always a lady that says, you can come print at my house, or you can come print at church. So somehow I was protected a bit from all of those challenges. But then university itself is such a big challenge to get through the year. It's a challenge. If I look at the group I started with, and I looked at the group that walked that stage with me with our first graduation, the half of them aren't even there anymore.
Yeah.
So no one really tells you how hard university is, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. So getting through the year, having your time managed, or figuring out time management alone, that is a challenge because you have so much things going on, and you have to balance your personal life, your family life, your social life, and then university as well. So if you're not able to manage that time properly, you are going to burn. And there's many times that I have burned. There's times that I felt like I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm over this.
Can
Can I
relate
deregister
100%.
now?
Yeah.
And let him know, can I deregister now? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. But then it comes back to our support system. And then they will sit down with me and they'll motivate me and they're like, no, you can do this. You started this journey. You have to do it. And then with the failure part, I actually reflected on this week. So I have been the type of person that literally pushes myself more than what I can.
Yeah.
I would literally burn, be off dead, but I am not going to stop the task. And it's more recently that I discovered that it was actually problematic. Like I was so afraid to fail that I did everything not to fail. And with a friend, I think 2 years ago with a friend, she started with me and she failed a module or two. So she had to obviously repeat the year and she didn't graduate with us. But her attitude towards that, and she was ready and determined to get up again and start over. And that's where I finally realized, but failing is okay. It's not failing, you are learning.
Exactly.
And it's okay as long as you don't stay down there, you're getting back up again, it's okay.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize that it's actually okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm more embracing the failure. I am more kinder to myself. That was also something I had to learn, to be kind to myself. You can't make everybody happy. You can't do it all at once. It's okay to slow down and try something from scratch again. And that's something I learned this year also very hard, because my aim was to do my master's in 1 year. And then obviously life happened and then the pandemic happened. And I had to sit with myself and say, but you're not going to make it. And it was a hard battle to realize that I'm not going to make it in a year and I have to do it in 2 years. So that was one big train smash, but it was like a realization moment to me that it's okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and I think part of the problem is also it's the strict timeline set in society for you to do something and for you to achieve something. You need to be, you need to be at university when you're 18 and 19 years old. You need to be a graduate when you're 21 or 22 years old. You need to have a job when you are 25 and start, thinking about marriage and stuff. And I think those things are good, but you shouldn't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. I mean, I recall the time when I was in law school. I think it was in second year when I failed the test this was the first time I failed ever, and I was straight A's in high school. That model student, and I thought I could never fail. Even in first year, it was a breeze. Even though there were challenges, but it was so easy to overcome. But then I got into second year, and people will tell you about the law of property, and I did my first property test, and I walked out of the test and I was like, that was fine, it was easy. 35%, and I was like, what the heck, I thought I passed. I thought
this is not me.
Exactly. That was a shocker. I called my mom, I called home, and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not, this is not for me. This is, I'm not cut out to be a lawyer. And then I did the next test, the June exam. I stayed, and then I did the June. I failed again. I got 49%. So I had to learn some tough lessons when it comes to failure. And it's as you say, you need to rely on that support structure. And you need to, remember why you started pursuing this goal. At the end of that year, I passed property with 70%, so, and I didn't, I'm an LLB graduate, so it is as you say, you need to go back to the basics, that support structure, lean on them when you have to, and know that failure is not fatal. It's just a learning curve, and use those,
When that doubt kicks in, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to pick yourself up again.
Yeah, you have to do that. And I read in your bio that you worked 2 jobs also at some point, doing your studies. How did that work out? How did you balance it all?
Yeah, that was my honors year. And that year was the craziest year ever, both academically, it was personally. I lost 2 loved ones in a matter of 3 months. My sister had a baby, and her husband was one of them that passed away. So I was co-parenting with her. It was a crazy year. Then I was working as a tutor. So that year I didn't have any funding, my honors year.
Yeah.
And I needed to pay my fees. So then obviously my tutor salary went to my fees, and I had a weekend job at a bookstore. I think since third year, second or third year, I've been working there Decembers and weekends. So yeah, I really don't know how I got through that honors year, because it's your job on a Saturday, Sunday. And then, and I also had to arrange with the job that I start later on a Sunday, because I was a Sunday school teacher and I refused to give that up.
Yeah.
So I had to negotiate
They must know.
start later immediately after church. You're like rushing to work, racing in the bathroom of the church to get to work. And then in the week, you have your own assignments. You have I had 4 tutoring classes a week, and then you have to mark the tutoring assignments as well. So it was literally prayer and determination that got me through that year. And that year I passed really well, and it was such a shock to me. It's like, I really don't know how I did it, but somehow God pulled me through and I made it through that year.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And that's also when I realized I need to push some things down. I can't take on so much things all at once. It's exhausting, it's burning me out. And it was just crazy. That's where I realized you need to be kind to yourself as well.
Yeah. And you mustn't be scared to make those kinds of decisions, you know. I mean, a lot of us are probably scared to let go of certain things in order for us to be more efficient at other things and to do better at other things. And I think that's it takes a lot of prayer.
And sometimes, sometimes you are afraid of the response from the other person, where they are actually much more understanding than what you are. If you say, I can't do this, I need to back down, I need to focus on my studies a bit more, I need to focus on my job a bit more, I can't help you out this time around. They're actually more understanding than what we think they would be.
Exactly. You're so scared to say, no, I cannot come this time, because you're so keen on, you know, getting, spending time with them. Ashleigh, I see here that you lost your father at the age of 12. You know, and there are a lot of people. There are some young people that may be watching this that also may have lost a loved one, such as such an important figure such as your father, in their lives. How do you move on from that at such a young age? How do you deal with that kind of trauma? And you know, how did you fill those gaps, you know, of that father figure in your life? What did you do to ensure that, you know, it doesn't matter that there's not this empty space or this gap in my life now, I'm still going to pursue my goals? How did you overcome that?
Okay, so I think losing my dad was also part of my motivation to move forward, to push, because that was in my grade 7 year. That's the same year where all the assignments is, what do you want to become one day? What you're going to do with yourself? And a lot of the responses that came from my classmates were that, no, I come from Delft, we can't do anything, or I can't dream bigger than this, or I have a single parent household, it's not going to work, there's no money for me to go study, and all of that. And that was also when I realized that because I come from Delft, because I have a single parent raising me now, because I lost my daddy, I need to use this as a motivation forward. I need to let this become my drive, basically. So I won't lie, it wasn't easy. When prom came and everybody's daddies brought them with to prom, and like, okay, well, luckily one of my uncles came and he played that role, but it was difficult, and there will always be that space where you wish that, I achieved this, or I got a new diploma or certificate, and I wish daddy could see this. But you have to try, and somehow you push, you saying you are doing this to make him proud. He is proud of you. You have to keep that in mind. So, and also my mommy is really a superwoman. So she really does take the role on of both parents. Sometimes she's too much of a superwoman, but I appreciate that of her. So she's been really, really supportive through it all, whatever phase I went through, whatever decision I decided to make, changing career paths or whatever, she has been there. So it's use that person that's no longer there, use that as your motivation. And I have this motto, remember why you started. So it dates back to grade 7 that year when I made that choice, that because of all of these things that's piled up against you, you have to do something. And when it gets difficult, then I have to remind myself, remember why you started, think back to your real reason why you want to do this. And I think that is also part of it. But like, it's been, I think, 12 years now. It's still that emptiness. You still miss him a lot, but he would want me to better myself, to do better, to make him proud. So I use that as my motivation.
Yeah. No, incredible. And then you also say that you are an activist for, you know, natural hair, and I love the curls, by the way. I love the hairdo.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about that. You know, what is that all about?
Okay, so I've had curly hair my whole life, which I hated. I wanted straight hair. And even if they made my hair straight, it curled. It was semi-straight on top, and then the whole section still curled. And I tried so many years to basically get my hair straight because everybody's hair was straight. Straight hair was the in thing. We all wanted what everybody had. And then the older I got, the more I actually started sweating in my hair. So somehow in my family, we sweat from our head. So even though I've managed to get straight hair eventually, from high school onwards, my hair went straight, got the nicest flat irons and all of that. But whenever the weather was a bit dodgy, the hair would mix. Or if I am too
problem you can't escape.
And then my hair starts sweating, and then it curls eventually, but it doesn't curl in a cute way. And then last year, and the natural hair movement has really been moving. There's more people that is actually embracing the natural hair. And then last year, I just decided, you know what, I am so over this, because we had a function at campus, and I was so busy that whole day. And my hair did not look good by the time the function started, and I was so disappointed because I tried so hard to look cute, and I had to tie my hair up. And then I was like, nah, I'm done blowing my hair. I'm going to embrace my natural curl.
Yeah.
And then the other problem was also, how would I be accepted in this academic field? So whenever we had presentations or we had guests over, in the center that I work with, the research center, the Desmond Tutu Center, we have a lot of guests coming over, academics, and we have a lot of workshops and conferences and things like that.
Yeah.
So then I would think that I have to sit my hair because it's going to make me professional. And then with this one interview I had in, I think, October with one of our guests from Texas. And then I was like, but she kind of has natural hair, so I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to go with my curls that day. And it was so well received. And ever since then, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this again. It's so much stress for me to actually try and keep my hair straight than what it is to embrace my curls. And it was really well received in the academic world as well. So why was I actually stressing about this?
Exactly.
And that's my way forward.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. I also see, I don't know if you use any, there's this thing called, I think it's Auntie Jackie's curls or something. Do you know about that? Or what's it called? I think it's that.
Yes, I do. But I follow the curly girl method. And the curly girl method means no sulfite, silicone, parabens, waxes, and all of that. And some of Auntie Jackie's products have those in.
Yeah.
So I don't
know what those
much
things
of Auntie Jackie's.
I don't know what.
And some of the ingredients is there. So no, I don't use so much of Auntie Jackie's.
That's incredible, man. No, that's great. And, you know, that you can still, you know, rock it naturally. And even in these spaces where, you know, there's a very conservative view held about professional hair. You know, when you Google professional and non-professional hair and you see the pictures that pop up. And I think it's
curly girl hair is deemed unprofessional.
Yeah, exactly.
In Google.
Exactly. It's so crazy. No, I think it's great that, you know, a lot of people are stepping up and, you know, rocking it natural, and you know, that you're an activist for that as well. Now, you from, I mean, there's such a lot of stuff that we can unpack in this interview, but we only have so much time. And, I think, by the way, congrats on the cum laude as well. You from Delft and,
Thank you.
from UWC, getting a cum laude in your honors, it's crazy. And I love to see it. For someone who maybe doesn't know what that means, can you please explain, what it means to graduate cum laude and, you?
Okay, so I can't remember the exact percentage now, but
Yeah.
I know that your average for the year has to be like, I think 80 or something, 85. And you have to keep that average right through the year. And then your final results has to reflect that. And I actually thought I was going to miss it because one of my modules, at the final mark, I didn't make it. And I was actually upset about it until I got my invitation for graduation.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mommy, I made it. I actually made it. I don't know how I missed it on my results, but it was a really good surprise though.
No, it's fantastic, man. It's great. And you managed to make it onto the dean's list. That is great.
Yes.
And these achievements are, how people can achieve such great results. It's not something that is there. I always say, there's no Model C university where, the people that are doing well in the Model C schools are going to come to university and they're going to continue doing well. University is some sort of leveler. However, I also think, I should say that, of course, there are certain people that come from certain backgrounds that may have, influenced your learning ability or your ability to do well at university. And of course, there are previously disadvantaged people that just, university is just not a leveler for them, but there are those who can push, and without too much strain on their emotional, mental well-being, because that's also important. And it's a factor that a lot of people miss, being able to do well and being emotionally and mentally well and getting out whole at the other side of your degree or at the other side of your honors, it's tough, as you said. It's tough to get through university, those years and sacrificing, and other people are out partying and you have to, focus on the books. But in the end, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Ashleigh, any advice for someone that wants to follow in your footsteps? Someone that may be listening, come from the same background as you, that can relate to your story. What advice do you have for someone like that?
So I would say find your passion and figure out what you are good at. So it's no use you just go, I can't say it's no use, but what I figured out works for me is do what you love and do what you're good at, and somehow find a way to mesh that together and then focus on a career path from there on. Because a lot of times I've seen people go into the nursing or whatever because it's a family line, because that's what most of people in our family has been doing. You're following a path because that's the tradition of the family, and then they are unhappy. Or they go into a field because parents advise it's best for you, or you will make good money or whatever, and people are unhappy. And if you're unhappy what you are doing, when you have that moments where you are down and out, it's not so easy to pick yourself up again and to motivate yourself to complete this, because it's not what you really want to do. So find what you're good at and find what you're passionate about. And it might not even be going to university or being in the academic field, but if you're good at practical things, find a way to make that work for you. So I think that is definitely one. Do what makes you happy, follow your desires, and then also balancing it all out. So like you just mentioned now, when everybody's out partying or going out and whatever, you have to sit at home with your books. But at the same time, you need to balance it all out. And most of the times you can give preference to the books, definitely. But you need to step away from the books as well and like have a social life, go out, date if you must, have family time, but also find people that understand the situation. Surround yourself with that kind of people. So like if you know you can't go, your boyfriend will be like, it's fine, let's not go on that date. Sit with your assignment, finish it first. Your friends realize that, okay, you can't join us tonight. But like surround yourself with understanding people. Because if you're going to have friends like, okay, you again dropping us, you're going to feel like Do I not? So that makes it even more harder. That's also the people you surround yourself with. And also, whatever you do, put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Because that's how opportunities come to you. So whatever task you have to do, whatever workshop you are in, give it your all. You never know who is watching. You never know who is going to give an opportunity to you. And that's how I received a lot of my opportunities as well. So people always say, you're so lucky. You always get a job easily, or you get this right or that right. But I've literally been working hard every single bit. Whatever I do, like I can't do something half-heartedly or just because I said yes, I must do it like that. You have to put your all in, and that's also where your opportunities come. So that is basically from my side advice. It worked really well for me.
Words of wisdom, and I'm encouraged. I'm inspired by that, and I think it's really amazing, And it is that thing of taking pride in what you do, man. A lot of us. I know someone who has a job, and although although they have this job, they're still not happy in it, and it's always complaints and not doing their best, and they don't want to give their best because the boss is maybe not treating them well, and always asking for any other job opportunities. And I think we really need to put our all into the thing that we currently have, and the opportunities will come from there. As you say, you never know who's watching you. The next person that might give you that big break that you've been waiting for, or just maybe looking at how you are handling the current minute that you've been given, or how you are dealing with cleaning something. If you are a cleaner, the next big break may come from that, just work ethic. And I think that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Ashleigh, do you have any future plans that you want to share, or anything to look out for next, or what's next on the radar? PhD. Dr. Ashleigh Petersen.
Definitely next. Yes. To be honest, I didn't envision that in the beginning. I was convinced 3 years of university, get that degree, and I am done. I am out of here. Like, honestly, that was my game plan. Find a job, do whatever. And then in my 3rd year, I was volunteering at Oasis. So at that time, I was so convinced I was going to do special needs teaching. And then I was like, okay, to teach, you need some sort of teaching qualification. So do the year of PGCE. And then literally on the last day of applications, I was sitting with my friend and she asked me, did you apply for honors? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And she's like, okay, fine. And then I'm sitting there like, are you like judging me now, or what should I apply? I was like, okay, let's just apply and see where it goes. And funny enough, I did honors and not the PGCE. And then I met my current supervisor in that class. And her motto was like, if you're doing honors, you might as well do masters. And what's the point of masters if you don't even do a PhD? You got this one. And I'm like, yo.
Good peer pressure. That's
she's like, planning my whole life. She's like, I don't want to be here for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I started loving what I do. I became so passionate about it. And the space that I'm in, the research center I'm in, it's an amazing space. I have amazing supervisors and facilitators in there. So definitely PhD.
Yeah.
That's next on the list.
Yes. Dr. Ashleigh Petersen from Delft. Cool.
Definitely the first doctor in Delft.
Lekker. That's good. No, amazing. Ashleigh, thank you so much for joining me on this platform. And as I said, we're just trying to push the Cape Flats narrative that there is something good that can come from our communities. There are good people in our communities. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day, hearing about the killings and the gangsterism and the drugs and all of the bad vibes and stuff. There are people doing some really incredible stuff, and you are most definitely. And I'm sure everyone that's going to be watching this video will definitely agree with me that you are one of those individuals that are really, raising our flag quite high from our communities and really being out there and representing us and doing well. And with that, is there anything else that you would like to share with us that you think is of import?
It's basically that we all have we all can achieve something, can be big things in life. We don't have to let our circumstances, wherever we come from, determine our future. And even though you make a plan for your future, somehow God rewrites your plan completely, and you have to
Yeah.
trust that process, and you
Trust the
have to go
process.
with it. And also, don't be afraid to like go out of your comfort zone. And I think that's also a big thing. We don't have to do what we know. We can step a foot a little bit further and test the waters and see how it goes and
Yeah.
go big with it eventually. So,
Yeah.
and I think also, like you said, this is a motivation for a lot of the youth out there that we can, but more I wanted to be for the youth of Delft to see that Delft
Yeah.
can do this. We
Yeah.
don't have to predetermine our faith because we come from Delft. We can do greater things. And I've seen a lot of other people in the community as well, friends that I was in primary school and high school with.
Yeah.
It's possible. I'm not the
Yeah.
first one, and I definitely don't want to be the last one.
Yeah.
So Delft can change it completely. So why can't there someone tell me someone in consent should be like, oh, you like the girl from Delft? So we can rewrite our narrative. We can
I
change
like
it.
that. I like that
Yeah.
so much.
So that's
Oh my word.
basically it.
Yeah, I like that so much. Thank you so much, Ashleigh. And you know,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, thank you so much. And if you're watching and you've been inspired by what Ashleigh has said, thank you for joining us and thank you for watching. If you are inspired by what Ashleigh said, please reach out to us. You know, leave a comment, leave a like. You know, share the video far and wide with someone else. You know, at Aspiration Inspiration, it's all about aspiring to inspire before we expire. And you never know who might need this message out there. You never know who may just have needed to hear what Ashleigh had to say. So please share the message with other people out there. And if you think if you know of someone that that achieved something great that come from our communities, please let me know and we will arrange an interview with them so that they can share their stories with us. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.